Hi, I'm Star.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Genna. And I just wanted to pick back up because I was asking these lovely ladies a question in our last video. And the question is, when and if long-term care becomes necessary for you, how does one go about paying for such expensive, necessary care?
Well, the first thing when I sit down with a family that's talking about what do we do to pay for long-term care, I ask them, how much do you think long-term care is for assisted living, let's say, or skilled nursing? Mm-hmm. And most of the time, people just don't know. They're not aware about the cost and how expensive it can be.
Yeah. And I would say, really educate yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key, is find out for yourself exactly how much this is going to cost.
It's expensive. It's expensive.
It is, and the options in order to pay is what? Well, the two things that we always hear are, oh my goodness, we're going to private pay and it's going to cost thousands of dollars a month. Or I surely can't apply to Medicaid because we're way above the income limit.
Right.
So,
or even worse, half the time, and the surveys say that most people, if you ask them, they go, well, doesn't Medicare pay for long-term care?
No, it doesn't.
Or my insurance, I have a supplement. I hear that all the time. I have a supplement to Medicare. That'll pay for long-term care.
Right.
Nope.
Medicare will not cover any long-term care costs. So, if you go to the hospital, it will cover your stay in the hospital and it will cover up to 100 days of rehabilitation services when you leave the hospital. But Medicare does not cover long-term care.
So for those of you who say, but that's not true, I did physical therapy and occupational therapy after my surgery, or my mom or my dad did, that's rehab. That's the 100 days Shannon's discussing. And it's not necessarily 100 days. It might be shorter than that. You can't count on that. After that time period is over, you're going to be billed private pay. And one of the problems is how fast that facility might ask you to leave. So there are a lot of things to consider when worrying about paying for long-term care.
Right. And we're actually very fortunate that in Florida, there's so many tools and strategies for helping you make that Medicaid application successfully. It's a little bit of a complicated process, but not only are there strategies for a single person, but we often have married couples where we have a sick spouse and a well spouse, or the caregiver spouse, and we have strategies, thankfully, that we can employ and make sure that that sick spouse gets the care and the Medicaid support for their long-term care facility or stay, while that well spouse, the caregiver spouse, can be home, can live, and both people in that marriage and that couple are getting what they need.
Right, and things like, selling your house. People think you have to sell your house.
Worst
or
mistake.
Transfer your money to your kids. No.
Don't do that.
Or that your retirement assets have to be liquidated. None of that is true. And we can help you, we can help educate you on
That's
what
the
types of
important
things.
thing. Educate yourself first. Don't make rash decisions.
All right, thank you. This has been part 2 of our two video strategy, and we're going to keep doing some videos here today, so stay tuned.